students, and welcome to the first lecture. In this lecture, I will be giving you an overview of public speaking, in addition to discussing the importance of public speaking. So first of all, before we dive into the wonderful world of public speaking, I would like to go over some objectives with you on what I would like you to know and understand by the conclusion of this lecture. I would like you to have an overall understanding of what public speaking is, including the definition of public speaking. I would like you to know the different types and benefits of public speaking. And by this end of this lecture, you should have an overall understanding of the models of public speaking. So first of all, let's look at what public speaking is. Public speaking is the process of designing. So you're designing through either like a script, an outline, you're kind of preparing that message. And then you're delivering a message to an audience. So you're taking that message that you outlined in your script or your outline, and you're delivering that to your audience. Whether that be through presentations aids, whether that be through delivery, but you're delivering, you're communicating that message to your audience. So what exactly is effective public speaking? Well, the first thing is understanding your audience and speaking goals. So you're understanding your audience's background, their race, their gender, their personal experiences, their educational levels. But not only are you understanding your audience, you also have to understand your speaking goals. What are you intending with this message? Why are you communicating this to your audience? So you have to come up with some kind of goal that explains the overall purpose of your speech. Are you intending to persuade them? Are you intending to inform them? Are you intending to entertain them? What are you intending to do with this message? In order to make an effective speech, you also have to choose elements that will engage your audience with your topic. You have to have a good attention getter, a good thesis, good supporting evidence, good presentation aids, and those all factor into an effective speech. Delivering your message skillfully is also important in order to build an effective speech. It's not just about the verbal message here. It's not just about your wonderful introduction, your wonderful conclusion. It's also about how you deliver that message to your audience through good delivery, through good eye contact, through good hand gestures, through good posture. So public speaking is a two-sided thing. Yes, you have to have effective verbal communication with your audience and really effectively communicate that message to your audience, but you also have to follow through with your delivery. You have to effectively deliver a message in order for that verbal message to become effective. So it's two-sided. Now that we have an understanding of what public speaking is, I would like to look at the different types of public speaking with you all. So the first type is informative. Sharing one's knowledge of a subject with an audience. So you're sharing something that you know really well with your audience. Maybe you had Lyme disease when you were a kid and you kind of understand what it kind of is. So maybe you share with your audience about your experience with Lyme disease and kind of the causes and what it is and how we can cure it. So it's basically taking what you know and conveying your knowledge to an audience. So you're basically teaching your audience about something that you know really well. The next type is persuasive speaking, persuading others to change their beliefs, their values, their opinions, their attitudes, or to take action. So maybe you believe that cell phones while driving is hazardous on the road and that you think there should be some kind of ban. So you persuade your audience to take action so that there is a ban. So you're basically, with persuasive speaking, you're either changing something or you're trying to get the audience to take their own action, take some kind of action to make change happen. And finally, there's also entertaining speaking. Now, first of all, it's not a joke-telling speech, or it's not about making people laugh at your jokes or anything like that. What an entertaining speech is you're kind of finding some way to entertain your audience. Maybe you're introducing someone who just received an award to an audience. Maybe you're the maid of honor and you're giving a toast to the bride and groom, or you're presenting and accepting an award like at a ceremonial speech or at a graduation or something like that. So an entertaining speech is kind of a way to entertain the audience through some kind of creative and engaging way. So let's look at the benefits of public speaking. One benefit of public speaking is that you develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. So when you're doing research or when you're creating an outline, you're developing some kind of critical thinking and problem-solving skills. You kind of have to use your mind in order to research. You have to use your mind in order to plan and prepare and organize a speech. Public speaking also helps you to improve your verbal and nonverbal skills. So it might help you to improve your hand gestures, your posture. It might also help you to improve the way you communicate a message to an audience. Public speaking also helps you overcome speech anxiety. I think we can all admit that we have some form of speech anxiety. As you will tell throughout this course, I love public speaking with all my heart. I just think it is the best subject. It's the best thing to do. But I still get nervous and I still get tense when I speak in front of crowds. That's why I think when you get up there on stage and when you speak in front of an audience, it helps you to kind of base that fear in your mind. It helps you to also get more comfortable with public speaking as well as overcoming that fear. Public speaking also helps you develop leadership skills. When you get up there and you speak, you're being a leader, you're being an advocate for someone or something. You're being kind of the leader and trying to make an influence on the audience. So you're kind of, when you're the speaker, you're kind of the authoritative figure. You're the one that everyone has to listen to and kind of take what you say into consideration. And most importantly, and one that I think is really good, is that public speaking also helps you to impact the world around you. When you speak, you are influencing your audience in some way or some form. You're making an impact in their lives in some ways, and you just don't even know it. You're making some sort of influence to them. Maybe if you persuade your audience not to use cell phones while driving, you're kind of impacting them to be more safer on the roads, for instance. And finally, I would like to look at the models of public speaking with you all. The first is the interactional model. So that's kind of like a model where the sender and the receiver are communicating. The sender is the person sending the message. So the sender is the speaker. The person that is speaking is the sender. The receiver is the person receiving the message. So right now I'm speaking to you all. So I am the sender and you are the receiver. You are the audience, or you are receiving my message. Noise is static that interferes with the message. Maybe your cell phone goes off and you're talking to a friend and it gets you distracted. So basically what noise is something that kind of distorts the message. It unfortunately makes you kind of misunderstand something about the message, and therefore messages kind of get distorted and misunderstood. In channel, speakers use of nonverbal and verbal communication. So your hand gestures, your eye contact serve as a channel for communicating your message to the receiver. Encoding and decoding are also part of interactional model. Encoding is what the source does when creating a message. Adapting it to the receiver, so you're adapting it to the receiver in some way. Maybe you're adapting it to the background, you're adapting it to their experiences. And then you're transmitting across channels, so you're transmitting it through your verbal, your words, and through your nonverbal behaviors, such as your hand gestures and your eye contact. And then decoding is you hear a source's message, so you hear what they're saying to you, and then you interpret the message, the source's message. So if somebody were to talk about cell phones while driving is dangerous, maybe you interpret that message to be that they're trying to look out for you and trying to keep you safe. That's how you might interpret that message. And then you evaluate the source of the message. So you kind of critique it in some way. You kind of try to evaluate it in a way. There's also 3 different types of feedback that are associated with the interactional model of communication. The first is direct feedback, which is the speaker talking directly to the listener. Moderately direct feedback focuses on nonverbal message while the speaker is talking. So maybe you focus on the person's eye contact, you focus on the way they're moving their body, focus on their hand gestures. So it's just focusing on those nonverbal cues is what moderately direct feedback is. And then finally, there's indirect feedback, which is time gap between message and receiving feedback. So there's kind of like a little lull, a little pause between receiving the message, sending it, and then receiving feedback. It's kind of like when you're in a speech, so you deliver your speech, and then there's a little lull in between the time that you receive your feedback from the instructor. Okay, finally, we're going to look at transactional model. Transactional model is where individuals are sending and receiving messages at the same time. So you're continuously interacting back and forth with your friend, with your professor. You're continuously talking back and forth with them. Interactions can create meaning through shared field of experience. Background influences one's ability to communicate with others. So our background and the experiences that we hold will influence how we communicate with others. Maybe the person we're talking to is African American and we are Mexican, so our experiences and our race will influence how we communicate with others. Well, that concludes our lesson. I would like you all to also be sure to listen to the lecture on the importance of listening, which is also in this model. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.